Next, let me introduce the last speaker. Lisa Yamamoto from Kwansei Gakuin University will deliver the speech under the title of Better Safe Than Sorry. Better safe than sorry. Lisa Yamamoto, please come up to the stage.
Thank you, the Master of Ceremony, distinguished judges, questioners, and all organizers. Good afternoon, everyone. The Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower. I was on a French subway train, and about 8 children were asking me with troubled faces. At the next station, all the children got off the train. Just before the train door closed, a boy threw something into the train. I looked at the flying object and realized that it was a wallet. "Oh my God, my wallet!" I shouted. In a hurry, I picked up my wallet and looked inside. But all my money was gone except for my credit cards. I was planning a solo month-long trip around Europe last spring, and it happened on the second day I arrived in Europe. Today, I want to give you a heads up about my embarrassing misadventures. Some of you might say, it's none of my business because I don't travel abroad very often. But is it really none of your business? What is the incidence of pickpockets in Japan? According to the National Police Agency's crime statistics, in 2022, there were 1,112 cases. In 2023, people who didn't go out because of COVID-19 started going out in Japan. And in 2023, there were 1,443 cases. This data shows an increase of more than 300 cases in 2023 compared to 2022. Pickpockets are, of course, the worst, and I want the police to tighten security and catch the pickpockets. I also think the government should remind everyone about pickpockets. But today, I want to tell you how to prepare when we become the target and prevent it from being stolen. When I saw the wallet from which all my money had been taken, anger and regret overwhelmed me. The fond memories go dark in a moment when we become the victim. We lose a lot of things, not just the ones that are taken. We lose our calmness from the fear of being targeted, and we lose confidence in ourselves. We also lose a lot of time and money it takes to reissue things. I don't want you to experience this. In my case, I had credit cards with me, so I was able to continue my journey. I thought I was just unlucky in France. But I had my wallet with my credit card stolen again in Italy. I used my smartphone to pay for hotel accommodations by putting my credit card number on the internet. However, I wasn't able to buy anything when I couldn't pay using my phone at the shop. So, what I brought back to Japan was not a souvenir, but a story about a pickpocket trip. I finally realized that I wasn't just unlucky, I was being targeted. I think many people like me have never been seriously aware of pickpockets. I think it's because we don't have a sense of danger about pickpockets in a safe environment. I'll give you a piece of data. Here's a ranking of countries with good security. According to the Non-Violent Crime Index by Country 2023, Japan ranks 8th. From this data, there are people who think that Japan is a safe country and forget to be cautious. Is your bag zipped? Aren't you walking around with your phone in your pocket? if the question applies to you, you might become the target. My point today is to remind people to be cautious in Japan as well as abroad. After the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of people who go out has suddenly increased. According to JTB Corporation Travel Trend Forecast for 2023, the number of domestic and overseas travelers is expected to increase to 274.4 million. This is about twice the population of Tokyo. The days of staying home have come to an end, and for pickpockets, there are many targets. According to the Sankei Shimbun, the Hyogo Prefectural Police arrested 3 Romanian nationals on suspicion of theft in May. The theft is said to be because, in Japan, crime prevention awareness is low and pickpocketing is easy. This arrest is just an example of what happened in Japan, and I think it's the tip of the iceberg. Better safe than sorry is the keyword we need to keep in mind. It is the proverb, and it means that you can never be too careful. I think it's better to work on not having your important things taken than to regret it. I wanted to do 4 simple things. The keyword is BSTS, which I made from the acronym of this proverb, better safe than sorry. BSTS stands for bag, smartphone, time, and separate. Bag. Please put valuables in the back of your bag. Put something on top so that important things are not easily found. Finally, please tighten the zipper of the bag. Smartphone. Please do not operate or talk on the phone while walking. If you operate on the phone while walking or absorbed in talking on the phone, you will be distracted from your surroundings. Time. People become less alert over time. While traveling in Europe, I got used to traveling and became less wary of pickpockets as time went on. I never thought I'd be pickpocketed twice. Separate. Please keep cash and credit cards separate. If you put cash and credit cards together in one place, you will lose everything in case of theft. Dispersal is important. I was pickpocketed twice in Europe and lost my money and credit cards. When I couldn't buy food, a member of the staff in the hotel I was staying at generously offered her pocket money to buy me a quiche and a cup of coffee. I was touched by the kindness of people. Since I became aware of BSTS, I have not encountered pickpockets. Wherever you are, I want you all to create happy memories without being pickpocketed. Please, always remember, better safe than sorry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa Yamamoto.
Thank you.
Then we will have a question and answer session. Mr. Carver, please begin.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience and your advice. I needed that advice. I was traveling in Italy myself a couple of months ago and was very, very cautious. And so my question is actually about that. How do you suggest that a traveler who hears your message and could say, wow, someone was targeted twice, how do you balance enjoyment of a place with caution?
Mm-hmm. I think it's really important to enjoy, of course. However, I think we all need to think about the risks that is sticking. However, if you follow the BSTS method, I think there will be lower risks, so you won't be so much afraid and you can enjoy that place.
Fair answer. Do you have any hesitation about traveling now?
Could you say
Are you hesitant to travel now? Do you have any sort of negative trauma from this that keeps you from traveling?
At that moment, when I was pickpocketed, I was so panicked. However, after a lot of research and after doing the BSTS method my own in Japan, I was not pickpocketed since that moment. So I think through my experience, I am now willing to go somewhere else.
My next question is going to turn a little bit. So the first experience you describe is about being robbed by children, which is kind of a shocking, surprising thing. How did you feel about that aspect of that you encounter people who buy you food and buy you coffee and you are robbed by children? What do you have to reflect on about that?
I think I was scared of people. I was scared of kids at that moment since I was never pickpocketed before. However, through my kind experience in Europe, I realized that not all people are really bad abroad. I realized that you need to be really careful, but you don't need to be too much afraid of people itself, I'll say.
All right, and then my last question is just going to be, what was a solid memory? What was a wonderful memory that you could use to balance out these particular memories?
I would say during my trip, I didn't have money, so I wasn't able to explore a lot. However, the view, the atmosphere, the people who's singing on the street, and the smell that is coming from the bakeries, all those moments were really special to me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Conver. Then, Mr. Tokuhisa, please.
Okay, thank you, Lisa, for sharing your bad experiences as well as the idea that we have to take into consideration. And my first question would be that when you got robbed, pickpocketed in France and Italy, did you report that to the police? And if you did, what were their reactions?
I really didn't have enough time to go to the police since I noticed that you will be stuck in the police office for more than 12 hours or something. So I really didn't go there. However, I noticed that when I came back to Japan, I was thinking about going to the police or not, even though in Japan. However, that was a great idea that I realized that if my credit card is used abroad, they can handle it if you go to the police in Japan. So if somebody here, I hope not, but if somebody here and if you are pickpocketed and you have your credit card stolen, please go to the police in Japan so that you can stop the credit cards. And if it's used, you don't have to pay that. So that's my suggestion.
I see. Well, I was just curious about how the police in France and Italy reacted to your situation, but you actually didn't go to the police. Okay. My next question would be that, as you mentioned, after the COVID-19 situation has improved, and a lot of people, especially from foreign countries, are now traveling in Japan. And you mentioned that some Romanian nationals were arrested because of the pickpocketing or robbing in Hyogo. And do you imply to say that such visitors from foreign countries would be certain, what shall I say, causes to deteriorate Japanese security situation? Or you just provided an example of, you have to be careful about it?
I do not want to specify any countries. I think it doesn't really matter. All the countries doesn't matter. I think it was just because that news was big, it was reported. However, there are a lot of people, also Japanese, who are pickpocketing. So I don't want to say that foreigners is making those problems. I think all of us might have risks in some cases. So I want to tell you that there are risks all in the country.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tokuhisa. Again, thank you so much, Mr. Conver, Mr. Tokuhisa, and Lisa Yamamoto.
Thank you.